Netflix has rounded out the cast for its live-action Avatar, The Last Airbender series, and though I once had my reservations about the remake, consider me back on board this flying bison. From impeccable casting to tea around the original creators' involvement in the show, here's everything we know about Netflix's Avatar, The Last Airbender. What is Netflix's reboot of ATLA going to be about? Netflix's Avatar, The Last Airbender is a remake, so it'll follow the general plot of the OG series, but as a live-action adaptation. For those of you who haven't seen the original ATLA, and therefore have never known joy, here's a brief summary. The world is split into 4 nations: Air Nomads, Earth Kingdom, Fire Nation, and the Water Tribes. Some people from these nations can bend, aka use the element of their nation as a kind of superpower, whose movements and fighting styles are modeled after cultural forms of martial arts. It's pretty FKN cool. Once, the 4 nations lived in harmony, then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked the other tribes. Normally the Avatar, a person who could master all 4 elements and was reborn into every generation, would have stopped them and kept the peace. But when the world needed him most, the Avatar disappeared. And then, over a century later, he was found, a 12-year-old airbender, Aang, trapped in ice as the last of his kind. Despite being just a kid, he becomes the world's only hope in the fight against Fire Nation's supremacy. Who has been cast in Avatar, The Last Airbender? Netflix has been steadily releasing information on casting, and honestly it looks FKN amazing. Filipino-Canadian actor Gordon Cromier has been cast as Aang, and look at that face. He's 12 years old, so in the perfect age bracket, and he definitely embodies our eternally positive airbender. We love to see it. Rounding out the rest of our golden trio is 16-year-old Native American actor and singer Kiawenchio Tarbell from the Mohawk tribe as Katara, and 19-year-old Ian Owsley, who is of the Cherokee tribe, as Sokka. Casting 2 Native American leads in this franchise is FKN groundbreaking, though it shouldn't be. The series has always been very diverse. Maybe the bar is in hell, but I don't care, I'm excited. Our beloved brooding babe Zuko has also been cast, and you won't be disappointed because Dallas Liu is a carbon copy. Is it just me, or is it hot in here? The Fire Nation girlies have also been cast: Elizabeth Yu as the villainous Azula, Momona Tamata as our adorable circus freak Ty Lee, and Talia Tran as monotone bestie with a heart of gold Mai. The rest of the cast list is stacked with big names too. Paul Sun-hyung Lee has been cast as Uncle Iroh, and Daniel Day Kim as Fire Lord Ozai. George Takei has also been cast as Ko, that terrifying predatory spirit that definitely haunted your nightmares as a kid. Look at his vacant smile. I've never seen such an excellent choice. Give this casting director a raise. Danny Pudi, King, has also been cast as the Mechanist, and Utkarsh Ambudkar as King Bhumi. 2 icons playing some of the most fun and eccentric characters in the ATLA universe? It's Christmas come early. If you want to get emotional, Ember Midthunder has been cast as Princess Yue. I'm going to sob when I see her turn into the FKN moon. Oh, and the most important casting of the whole franchise, Jamie C as the Cabbage Merchant. Iconic. Side note, but there is not a white person in sight in this cast list, and it is glorious. No more whitewashing. You can see the full cast here. How long will the episodes be? It was initially expected that Netflix's Avatar, The Last Airbender series would consist of 10-hour-long episodes. However, now it's reported that there will actually be 8. This reminded me of Game of Thrones' final season, which was not good, partially because it was rushed, but I'm remaining optimistic. I mean, the first season of the original Avatar was a total of 6 hours, so 8 hours is more than enough to cover the source material. Are the original creators of Avatar, The Last Airbender involved? The original creators of Avatar, The Last Airbender were initially involved in the franchise, and everything seemed well and grand, until it wasn't. We can't wait to realize Aang's world as cinematically as we always imagined it to be, and with a culturally appropriate, non-whitewashed cast. Avatar's original creators, Michael DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, said in a joint announcement at the time. However, they've since pulled out because they felt they weren't being listened to during production. Taking to their respective social media accounts, DiMartino and Konietzko announced their departure from the series. When Netflix brought me on board to run this series alongside Mike 2 years ago, they made a very public promise to support our vision, Konietzko wrote. Unfortunately, there was no follow-through on that promise. Though I got to work with some great individuals, both on Netflix's side and on our own small development team, the general handling of the project created what I felt was a negative and unsupportive environment. Oh no. In DiMartino's statement, things sounded even worse. Netflix's live-action adaptation of Avatar has the potential to be good. It might turn out to be a show many of you end up enjoying. But what I can be certain about is that whatever version ends up on screen, it will not be what Brian and I had envisioned or intended to make, he said. Konietzko made it clear that this wasn't a simple matter of not getting our way. Mike and I are collaborative people, we did not need all the ideas to come from us. As long as we felt those ideas were in line with the spirit and integrity of Avatar, we would have happily embraced them, he said. However, we ultimately came to the belief that we would not be able to meaningfully guide the direction of the series. But, Konietzko said there are still very talented people working on the series, some of whom he personally hired. I hope they get the chance to do their best work on the series, he said. Perhaps the team that remains might still be able to make something fans of the original and an entirely new audiences can enjoy. Crying, screaming, throwing up. Look, am I devastated at this news? Yes. It is never a good sign when the original creator doesn't have the control they want in their series. Just look at Game of Thrones' final season. Or any of the film adaptations of Percy Jackson. But that being said, the cast for Netflix's Avatar, The Last Airbender looks incredible, so I still have hope. And maybe it being a little different isn't a bad thing. What would be the point of the reboot if it wasn't modernized a bit, right? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Image, Getty Images, Michael Loxosano.